The thing that I love about the Wise Guys teams is that you guys have a knack for finding the most passionate founders. They know what they're doing, they believe in what they're doing, and nothing is going to stop them.
It is really intense, I have to say, but I really enjoy it because I feel every day I'm totally evolving in this program, and I see that I have so many weapons already.
It's challenging at times. We come with a strong background of doing a lot of things at once, but it's just amazing to be next to the teams, showing all the creativity you can to help them. So it's not something you have to deliver, it's very creative work, and that's what I'm very surprised that I really like it.
I think the best of the people part always. You already know everything, but here the borders are infinite, just so much things to learn.
One of them is the passion, and the other one is how much we care about each other. Among everything, we are a team that really likes to spend time with each other, and part of that is because we all share the mission.
Because I always had the feeling that this is the family that I have.
This is not a job, this is what we love to do. I think when you can mix that one, it's great. We just have to sometimes understand that, hey, there is more people around us and we have to put some time for them.
For us, it was mainly like a crash course startup MBA, basically, kind of. It's kind of like a bottle of good wine, kind of that keeps getting better all the time.
I mean, Wise Guys team is what keeps me energized through everyday life. When I started working with the startup scene, Wise Guys was my kind of entryway, so I feel like it's a family. I'm like an adopted startup Wise girl.
I just remember one scene from the Tech Chill 2 months ago when you had the demo day with Swedbank. Nearly all the startups were nearly crying when they said goodbye to the mentors. They can really feel the energy, and I think culture beats everything. And I also see Wise Guys as an execution machine.
Yeah, and people ask that why do you do that? There is no money, and very many accelerators have failed after a year or two. I believe that if you really want to do it, if it's your vision, and then you just can't give up, and you will figure it out how it works.
And you have to pitch at the big stage, right?
Yes. My hands are already shaking.
It's too easy for us because this whole month start Wise Guys, every day we preaching. It's easy for us.
Now we are only going up, and only the sky is the limit.
This is love for what we do at the end of the day, and this is our life that we want to have.
I already know that when it's over, then I'm gonna cry.
3 minutes of stage and now back to work.
Welcome everyone. This is Louisa here, Startup Wise Guys marketing manager, and I'm here together with my two beautiful colleagues to talk about everything you want to know about the upcoming Wise Guys SaaS acceleration program. So I'm here to make sure that if you have any questions, I will get these two ladies to answer anything you want to know. So maybe a round of introductions. Fabienne, passing the mic to you.
Yes. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Fabienne. I will be the Managing Director for the SaaS batch and leading the Accelerator program, which we will be talking about today.
Darja?
And I will take the mic. Yes. Hello, I'm Darja. I'm a scouting manager at Startup Wise Guys, so I'm the one who is selecting startups. And before that, for 2 years, I was a program manager. So I know the whole journey of the startups from the beginning until the very end. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have today.
Thank you. So yeah, you have the two most important people that you need to actually know if you are interested in the upcoming Wise Guys SaaS program. Because when you apply, when you get selected, these are the people you get to talk the most to. So wherever you are listening, comment section is your best friend if you have any questions. So please don't hesitate to write them there. I will be following closely what you're sending in, and I will make sure that we answer everything. And yeah, so a little bit about the program. Wise Guys SaaS Tallinn program starting in March in Tallinn. Application deadline, mark it down in calendars now, February 3rd. Though never wait till the last day. And Darja will explain you why, because the process is not just one application and that's it. But February 3rd, if you like what you hear, please apply, go to our website. You see the website link down below and in this stream. Just go there, hit the apply button, and we will talk it further. But okay, let's dive into the program itself. And Fabienne, let's start with you. Maybe you can explain a bit more in detail. So what is this program all about, and for whom it is?
Absolutely. So the program is for early stage B2B SaaS startups. So companies who are really working to create solutions to business problems. The program, it's important for me to say, is specifically tailored to B2B companies. So it will not be so beneficial for B2C. However, there are no limits on industries, geographies, topics you're covering, which is what makes this program so exciting, because it really builds such a diverse network and you really get to learn from so many different people and companies on the way. Companies should ideally have an MVP and some sort of traction. And it's especially beneficial for teams who already have an MRR, have a working product and clients, and they're ready to scale outside of their home country. But we can speak a bit more about that later. Should I go on to speak about what the startups will get if they're selected?
Yes, for sure. Okay. Dive into it.
Okay. So I'll speak about three parts here. So firstly, the investment. We can expand on this a bit later, but the standard investment will be 55,000 euros for up to 9% equity. They will have admission to the SaaS program, which, as you mentioned, starts on the 1st of March. It will be 20 weeks long, and it will be made up of a mixture of workshops, mentoring sessions, boot camps, workshops, with implementation weeks in between. So there are so many learnings throughout the program. It is very intense. However, we do give you time throughout the program to take a step back and implement those learnings throughout your company. And last but not least, something very powerful about Startup Wise Guys is the huge network that you become a part of. You really have a vast network across geographies, industries, expertise, really all at your fingertips. So it's a really strong program. It's a really fun program with a lot of learnings, and but it is important for you to know that it is also quite an intense program.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a couple of things we could mention next on the network part. So Startup Wise Guys is turning 10 this year. So we have been doing acceleration programs for 10 years and we have done 28 batches until now. So, and there is more than 250, there are more than 250 startups in our portfolio, and you get to talk with all of them, as well as investors and mentors that we have here. So if you join the program, you get access to all of these amazing people with many different knowledge, and they are willing to share. Maybe you mentioned also a couple of things already that I will ask Darja to cover in the scouting process. So if you're interested, as I mentioned, go to our website and apply. And then if you hit that apply button, Darja notices you in her magic tool that she uses for sorting all the startups and finding the right place for you. So maybe Darja, you can kind of go through steps. How does the scouting process looks like? So what do startups need to be prepared for when they apply?
Definitely. So as Louisa already mentioned, don't wait for the deadline or for the perfect moment or until you close that deal that is coming tomorrow, in a month or a week. It doesn't matter. Apply now if you have the desire to join the accelerator, because first of all, we practice zero waste approach. If you are not exactly ready right now, we will keep you in our database, and the moment we have a program that is eligible for you, we will invite you. But let's imagine you are the perfect startup and this is exactly the program for you, and you're ready and you press that apply button, you filled in the application form. Then the process For me, it's quite easy because I've been doing it for almost 2 years. For you, it will take some time. So first of all, it's not as easy as filling in some questions and then you're in. First of all, we will do the pre-screening so you're eligible for the program. As Fabienne mentioned, you need to be a B2B startup. You need to have working product. You need to have at least 2 co-founders, so a team, because doing business alone is hard. Put 5 months of the accelerator program on top of that, and even the strongest of us will go crazy. And then you need to have initial traction. After that, we usually invite startups for the pitch day. This is our internal event where we invite about 10 startups at a time. And then the startups do the presentation of their business for about 3 minutes. And then we ask questions to get to know you better, because words on screen are great, but it's better to see who you potentially will be working with, getting the feel of the people, and you get to meet us as well. After that, if everything goes well, we invite you for the due diligence process, as we call it. It's basically a lot of calls for you and for us as well. So the initial step would be having a call with our technical person, because at the end of the day, we invest into the technological projects. And then the call with Fabienne, who is going to be your mentor and guiding you throughout 5 months of the program. So she needs to know you better, maybe even better than your mom. It depends how it goes after the 5 months of the program. But yes, you do the initial calls with a tech mentor and then with Fabienne. And then after that, usually we also have a partner call, because they're the ones who are also evaluating the deal and what kind of offer we can make and how it's going to go. And then if everything goes very well, we start the negotiations for the term sheets. And at the same time, we invite you to the selection bootcamp. So we run our selection process in sprints, let's put it this way. And each sprint ends with the selection bootcamp. Into each selection bootcamp, we aim to invite 10 startups. And at the end of the selection bootcamp, which lasts for you 1 day, 1 full day, within about a week, maybe week and a half, we give you a reply. Are you in? What we can offer. If we feel you're a bit too early, we might say that, because acceleration program comes to startups within a specific time frame. Sometimes you're a little too early, and then we say honestly to you that you're a little too early, and we will be happy to continue talking to you when you reach those KPIs or whatever situation might be. And then we keep you in our database, and then we reach out to you when we have a bad program for you and just checking in. So this is how, at a glance, the program looks, the selection process looks like. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I always do a yes at the end.
Yes. Thank you. So we actually have a question that we can cover while on this topic from Uldis, asking about a marketplace solution that has both this B2B and B2C aspect. So maybe Darja, you can expand on this, or Fabienne, if you also want to jump on it, feel free to do that. But yeah.
I think this is the third option, depends. You need to have, usually in these cases, we check if you already have a B2B traction. So basically, if you have onboarded and you're working with businesses already, and we can see the interest and that market actually needs that marketplace, then we're happy to proceed.
Yeah. So yeah, it depends. Apply and we will check it out. Also on this criteria part, so you named 3 things, and one of the things that you mentioned, Darja, was the team. And one of the questions that we often have is about solo founders. So can a solo founder apply to the program and get selected or not? What's the deal there?
It depends. That's my new favorite answer. Thank you, Uldis. It depends. We have the rules in place, but sometimes there are great exceptions. first of all, if you're working alone on the project, there is no one to help you, then probably it might be a no from us, not because we don't like you, but because you need support. It's very hard to do business alone. You need the second set of hands, the second head to brainstorm, and someone who will be together with you in this journey and as interested as you are. This is why you need to have a second co-founder. If you're the solo founder, but you have a team, it's a little bit better because you have someone to help you. In these cases, if we see the potential and you, for example, have a team or you have already a target who can be a co-founder, then if you're invited to the program, we usually set KPIs for the program that you onboard this particular person and you start working. If you're a solo founder, still apply. We actually have some great projects who've been sent to work on finding a co-founder. As soon as they have a co-founder, we will be more than happy to invite them to the program. So we work no matter what, as long as we see that we can help you and we like the idea that you're having, we're happy to wait, or we're happy to help you in some way to reach that next level.
Thank you. And there, before we go into the geographical restrictions and questions about that, I see that there are questions about it. I wanted to cover Milos' question. Sorry about the name pronunciation. But there's a question, is there a minimum traction that is needed to kind of get selected for the program? Can we comment this a little bit?
Sure. So the minimum traction, I would say, if you have already signed letters of intent, that will be in most cases already enough. Ideally, you will have initial MRR. So it might be even 100 euros a month, as much as, but it's already a good sign, and that's already enough. If you don't have any MRR just yet, it's not a sign that you can't apply. You still can apply because, first of all, the selection process is quite long. So for SaaS programs, we usually look for 12 weeks. That means either you can gain someone during that time and you can keep us posted about your progress, or after this program, we will have another, and we still keep in touch with the startups who were not selected, and you can still update us. So as soon as you reach out, as soon as we establish this communication, the more chances you have to apply, to get selected. I wanted to say that don't postpone the applying part. The most important part for me is for you to apply.
Yeah, and the application deadline for this program, February 3rd, but don't wait till then. Do it this weekend if you need some time to think. But if not, do it today. Okay, let's go into geography questions, because they're also how we usually name the program. So this one is Wise Guys SaaS Tallinn. So maybe we can explain this aspect a little bit. Fabienne, maybe you want to explain the connection to Estonia a little bit and how it impacts startups as well.
Yes. So about geographies, we welcome applications from all over the globe. I think that's what makes us such an exciting accelerator and program. And I think currently we have over 45 countries across our portfolio companies, which is super exciting. Yeah. The program is called SaaS Tallinn. That's where the core of the program will be. However, that doesn't reflect on any of it doesn't mean only programs from Estonia can apply. It's really open to everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And there's a question of I don't know why our tool, but I'm seeing the name in LinkedIn. Maz is asking if a startup is from Russia, do they have to be set up and registered in Estonia or something to get selected? What are the rules around this, or any other similar kind of setup for startups? So yeah, either one of you, maybe you want to jump on this.
I'm happy to take it.
Yeah.
Especially for Tallinn program, there are no limitations. You can be registered even in another country. if you're planning to open a company in Estonia and start raising funds around here, also you're very welcome to apply. We have no limitations, and we also can support you on establishing the company here in Estonia, because this is where the startup Wise Guys is from, and this is where we know the process very well. If you need help, even though I'm Estonian, I'm very happy to announce that the process of establishing company is actually quite easy. Thank you for e-government. So if you're from Russia, even you raised some funds there, it doesn't matter to us, apply, and we're happy to work with you. No limitations whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think another important thing on this is that in our portfolio, as Fabienne mentioned, so we have startups from more than 45 different countries, and they have all tried, a lot of them have tried to open either companies in Estonia or something. So there are different kinds of experiences, and you can always reach out to our network, and they will help and share their experience, what they did, and so on. And even more in the future. So if you are in part of the batch, looking forward to expanding in other countries, there's a pool of people who will be gladly happy to share their experience. Maybe I saw that some of our mentors have joined and asking questions. Hi, Stoyan. I will cover your question towards the end a little bit, but let's go more deeper in the program itself. So Fabienne, maybe you can explain. Briefly, you already mentioned it. So, but we know there's the deal, the money deal. You can also remind that again, and then kind of explain what is the program all about, from what it consists, how it's going to happen.
Yes, sure. So to start with the program, there are 4 main areas of focus for the acceleration program, and they are all delivered through a variety of formats. So be it through mentoring, workshops, masterclasses, boot camps. There's a large variety there. And the 4 parts of the program are as follows. You have the company building part. So this is all about learning the fundamentals of your business, building your team, building your product, differentiating yourself to your competition, how to position yourself in the market, all those aspects. Then you have sales. So that's figuring out your ideal customer, future planning around that, and pitching. There will be a lot of pitching throughout your program because we really are there to support you to sell yourself as best possible. So everything from the basics of delivering your pitch all the way to delivering a very strong demo pitch. And then you have the fundraising. So that includes topics such as the fundraising landscape, investments, and investor management. Once you've completed the program, a very important part is the aftercare. So you really become part of the Startup Wise Guys community. And once it's complete, we will support you through giving you warm introductions to VCs, developing an advisory board, and you'll also be included in the annual Wise Guys getaways, which I hear are amazing. So really, it is an all-round accelerator that you'll be a part of. And should I touch upon the, sorry.
Yeah, go.
No, and just to remind you on the investment part, so the standard investment is the 55,000 euros for up to 9% equity, and that will be split into 30,000 euros cash that you'll receive and 25,000 euros that will go towards the program.
Yeah, maybe you can also mention the potential follow-on investments as there's that part as well.
Yes, of course. Once the program is complete, there is the possibility of a follow-on investment of up to 250,000 euros, which is very exciting as well.
Can I add a thing?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm often asked about this initial investment of 30K. There are no strings attached in terms of where you have to spend it, as long as it's invested into your business. Obviously, you can spend it however you see fit. For some, it will be investing hugely in marketing. For others, it will be invested into development. Whatever are your needs, you can spend however you see it fit. So your money, your choice.
Thank you, Darja. A little bit back on the program, because of course, COVID is still out there. It's crazy. And it sounds like a lot of work during the program. So maybe, Fabienne, you can touch upon this a little bit, how much time it kind of takes, explain a bit more about also these implementation weeks, and maybe you could also cover the online on-site part of the program, or how it's going to be set up in this case.
Absolutely. So I feel it's important for me to say that during COVID, the programs were moved online. However, they were just as effective. You received just as many talented mentors. You had just as great an experience. Now the program has become hybrid. And what we're encouraging is for the startups to be on site for 2 weeks around the start of the program, 2 weeks around Progress Day, and 2 weeks around Demo Day. However, all startups do have access to the Startup Wise Guys offices throughout the program, should they decide to relocate. So that's always there as a resource for them. So it is a hybrid format. Yeah, and whether, as I mentioned, if it were to go online for whatever reason, or we end up in person, we do deliver just as an effective program.
Yeah, for sure. And what we have seen, it's always, especially in these past 2 years, the on-site parts, if we manage to get everyone together, it's just a blast, and it's an awesome feeling, even for us, the Wise Guys team, that we get to meet the startups, that you just see all the faces, even our own team, but also with the startups that we work on a daily basis. It's great to meet in person and actually talk and do. So it's a great time, and we try to manage that as if it's possible. We try to make it happen. So fingers crossed that it happens for this program as well.
Yeah.
Yep. You wanted to add anything? Yeah.
Yes. You also asked about the intensity of the program, or how much time the program will take. It is a full-time program. So we are looking at full days of mentoring, masterclasses, peer-to-peer sessions, one-on-ones. It is a full-time program. However, as mentioned, there are those implementation weeks scattered throughout the program, and that is where you can implement all of your learnings. So it's not so intense that you become overwhelmed and it actually does not impact your business. Quite the opposite. You have those intense weeks of a lot of learnings, which you can specifically implement during those implementation weeks.
Thank you. So for I think kind of the most important parts about the program we have covered. Reminding for anyone who joined later, comment section is there for the questions. So if you have anything, just type them there. We see them and we will get the answers. So I will ask question from Amar. We already covered it, but Dario, let's go over once again. So what are the requirements to get selected, and what about the traction, especially for this part? So yeah, Amar's question, and maybe the rest of the requirements as well.
It depends. My new favorite answer. The traction is important, but I can't say it's the most important. It's not the major requirement. The major requirement for this program is having a working product, because within the program, we actually accelerate sales, and you actually need to have something to sell. It is good to have traction. It depends a lot on what kind of idea you're working on sometimes. It's good if you're already talking to the customers. It's good if you have some of them more or less warm in your pipeline. Then you can already apply and be more or less confident, but it's case by case basis. We take a look at most of the startups who are eligible, especially based on if they have working product. And after that, we make a decision how to proceed. As long as you have working product, Amar, apply, and we will have a chat.
And then it depends.
And then it depends.
We'll chat, and then it depends.
But if not this program, we have plenty of more coming up this year or the next year. It depends how hard your solution is.
Yeah, for sure. That's a very, very important thing. It's just the start of 2022. This is the first program. We will have Africa as well that recently closed applications. But then Wise Guys SaaS Tallinn program, the first ones who will start this year, but there will be more things. So as long as you follow Startup Wise Guys, follow our social media, wherever you are also listening now, just hit the follow button. We announce programs regularly in there. There's more and more to come. So we have good to see Stoyan, as I mentioned already, one of our mentors joining. You get to actually work a lot during the program with him as part of the Perform workshops. And Stoyan is asking about some of the success stories, since Fabienne is still yet to kind of acknowledge all the portfolio, maybe, unless you have seen some latest news that you would like to share. Maybe I will ask first Darja this question. What are some of your, because you have also been part of the programs, so what has been your experience during the program? How do startups, how is it going for them? And maybe there is something you would be happily to share about some specific cases.
It depends. So as I mentioned, we usually take startups who have initial traction and have working product, but it doesn't mean they have all their answers. So within the program, you might pivot once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. So we will help you figure out, find your place in the startup world, how to make you more attractive, how to find a better differentiation. You might completely change your business once or twice. We had such cases as well. This is why you come to the accelerator. You know, you have a good idea, but you need help and you don't want to go through all the mistakes yourself, because first of all, it will take years. It will add gray hair on your head. This is why we're here. Most of us have been founders before. We know the struggle, but we also have a vast network of different experts who also have been founders, so they know your struggle as well. So you don't have to do all the mistakes by yourself. So within the program, some of you are expected to have some pivots. Some of you who already have more or less established business and you have customers, you are expected to at least double the amount of your MRR, if not triple. The more the better for you, especially. And at the end, I would say if we are your first investor, then within the next 6 to 12 months, startups usually raise their funds. The first or some second funds, they raise more money. This is also the part of the program that we have. So we will teach you how to look for the perfect investor for you and how to be not afraid of them. And the success examples of the startups. It is, for me personally, it's a very subjective question because I've been a program manager for 4 batches. You develop a very personal relationship, especially at the time it was on site. So all of them become your babies, and you celebrate the successes even more. But within our alumni, I would say the recent successes for me personally, even though they were before my time, we have a company, Fractory. They graduated the program. They're doing great. They established a very good business in UK, and recently they closed Series A. We have a recent acquisition by Pinterest as well, of a company who were doing videos. So all connected to making videos. If you're from Estonia, shout out to Comodule, or they have released the electric scooters tools, and there were a lot of jokes about it, that tools are better than everything else. I support that. So if you're from Estonia, you know what I'm talking about. They're also our portfolio company. From more successful, not more successful, but more mature point of view, in our Vilnius program, we had KYC startups doing KYC on data. They came, they already had quite decent revenues. They managed to multiply it by 2 or 3 by the end of the program, which also showed us and the world, hopefully, that we can help more mature startups to get even better and faster. So Ondato is my last example, and I will ask Louisa about who are her success stories in her opinion.
Yeah, I have a couple of names in mind, but I also, so Stoyan asked a couple of statistics. So I think a very important number is that our portfolio in general has an 80, now it's 80, we updated the number, it's higher than we said before, 80% survival rate, 6 months. It's 6 months after the program, so it's quite high, and we are very proud to see that our startups are alive and kicking and making the world a better place. But like on specific examples, I think a very good one is a sustainability batch that we had last year. It was also happening in Tallinn, and we had 3 startups before. I think it was almost a month before the program ended, actually. Together, they all raised 1.23 million, I think, something like that. So 3 startups out of 10, I think we had 10 in that batch, managed to raise already before the program ended. And that was like amazing to see it. So it was EFA, Sorve, and forgetting the third startup. But yeah, you can check our socials and our website for more on that. But that was a great example. And then there are, so we have I actually saw today on Estonian startups that our portfolio startups, Katana Factory that Darja mentioned, Wolf 3D, Montonio, they are actually I think it was by investors, the most investable Estonian startups. There was a top 20. So that was a good thing I saw today. So those names. And then there are the ones who succeeded more during the COVID. For example, Ziti City in Lithuania, a very, very good example. You can check them out. They're doing same-day deliveries. So for them, it has been a very successful time. And there are many more things. So if you want to see how our portfolio is doing, really also after we finish this Q&A, I will jump into social media and I will be sharing news about one of the recent rounds that one of our portfolio startups did. I'm not revealing which one, so you will have to just follow us in our social media to see which startup was it and what do they do. That's to kind of keep you with us. Yeah, so thank you, Stoyan, for the question. We could talk about only that, but we have to move forward. So for anyone who's listening, if you have any more questions, please, this is your last chance. But while I'll ask the ladies final questions to repeat some of the things that we shared. But anyways, if you don't manage to get answers now, you can always reach out to all of us, find us on you can write to Startup Wise Guys in any social media. You can just go to the website, startupwiseguys.com/SaaS Tallinn and apply. And then you'll get to talk to Darja and the scouting gang and have separate calls with Fabienne as well if you move forward in the pipeline. But yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. But let's go one more time over the most important criteria. 3 things, Darja, they are
working product, initial traction, and 2 or more people in the team. Those are my top 3.
Yep, definitely. And yeah, Fabienne, you want to add on top of that?
Also, just to add that the program is tailored to B2B startups, and it won't be as beneficial for B2C. B2B2C, I love those, but that also is a depends. But it is specifically tailored to B2B.
Yeah. And maybe you want to also cover the most important dates that everyone need to remember if they want to apply, what is happening?
Sure. So the application closes on February 3rd. However, please get your applications as soon as possible. Just kickstart the process because it will become a much smoother experience for you to get the calls in, and you won't feel rushed in that way. And it will give our scouting team a lot more time to review your profile and get things started. And the program starts March 1st. So they're the two main dates. The program, as mentioned, is 20 weeks long. So that will take you from the start date of the program all the way to the demo day in July. And I think we've mentioned we are targeting to have about 10 companies in the batch, but that is just a target. It could be more or less. And I can go over what the startup should expect. Can I do that?
Yes, yes, for sure.
Great. So we have the investment. So the standard investment is 55,000 euros for 9%, up to 9% equity, and that it's split into 30,000 euros cash and the 25,000 euros that goes towards the program. Then, of course, you have the admission to the SaaS program, which starts March 1st. Applications close February 3rd, and that will be 20 weeks long, made up of workshops, boot camps, mentoring sessions with implementation weeks in between, where you can implement your working, your learnings and your work towards your startup. And then, of course, you have access to the Startup Wise Guys network, which is such a vast network, and it ranges across geographies, industries, expertise, and it's really at your fingertips, and you can do so much with that. Yes. I stole Darja's.
February. Yes. Well, she has a new one. It depends. So yes was free for taking. Awesome. Thank you for that. I see questions more for me. Yes, the recording of this Q&A is available after we will end this. So it says, if you're watching on LinkedIn, the link of the same link that you're watching, and you can share it with anyone else who might be interested. Please do that. Share it with them. Hopefully we covered the most important parts in this Q&A, and they can find out what they were maybe missing. Or anyways, our YouTube channel, probably the easiest place where to find all of our Q&As and other awesome videos. You can actually check in our YouTube recap videos of previous programs. So you get to hear not only from Startup Wise Guys team what it means to be a part of our program, and then how it is happening and how's the vibe and so on, but you can actually get to hear feedback from our startups yeah, so check that out, and you can, of course, always visit our website for more information. Everything's there, yeah, but if something, write to us and I will make sure that you get your answer. So to sum up, maybe another thing, yeah, Fabienne, the program itself, a quick recap on that one, and then we will wrap this Q&A up.
Great, sure. So just a reminder, the program has 4 focuses. So the first one is company building, where you can learn all the fundamentals about your business, your team, the building of the product, how to differentiate yourself in the market, a bit about your competition as well. The sales, so figuring out your ideal customer and future planning around that. The pitching, everything from basics all the way to delivering a very strong pitch for your demo day. And fundraising, so everything about the fundraising landscape, how to manage investors, investments, things like that. And of course, the aftercare, which comes after the program once you've graduated, and that can include everything from warm introduction to VCs, access to the vast network at Wise Guys, and yeah, continuing your learnings through that as well.
Good thing that you mentioned aftercare, because I was thinking that we should wrap up this Q&A with a throwback to one of our Startup Wise Guys getaways, which is actually an awesome once in a year thing where we try to gather as much as portfolio startups together as possible. So there are 250 now, even more, 266 or something. I saw the number, and with the new batch, so you can count. It's a lot of startups, but the getaway is hopefully happening on site this year. We are like really fingers crossed. It's planned for autumn. Then the COVID kind of lets loose a little bit. And we try to usually have it somewhere warm and sunny. So for the end of this Q&A, let's watch a quick movie of our getaway. For anyone who listened to us, thank you for joining. Thank you, Fabienne and Darja, for all your answers. And if you have any more questions, we are here. We are open, always happy to talk, happy to help. And just go to startupwiseguys.com/SaaS Tallinn, apply, and let's take this further and start this journey. So thank you, ladies. Thanks to everyone who's listening. And let's dive into some sun and warmth and our getaway after movie.
We thought 3 years ago, what if you bring mentors, investors in one place and you let them go free and network with each other? Why don't you ask them?
This is one of the most probably exciting gatherings, which is Startup Wise Guys Getaway.
It's like a family reunion. Wise Guys Mafia all here together.
The people are so nice here.
It's super well planned.
A lot of meetings, a lot of great events.
Speeches, sightseeing.
Everybody is here to learn a lot of new things, but also to have fun. It's absolutely lovely.
I'm coming here from Latvia.
Ivory Coast.
San Francisco. I was invited here to give a talk to the startups about branding and positioning.
I'm looking for some investors, some new markets to go to, and I'm just like looking for good connections.
I'll be speaking to the teams here and to the investors about legal aspects.
To see my friends and meet new people and talk about business is the most important things.
Since I left Wise Guys, I still kind of miss the community feeling. I think Wise Guys is really, really special, and so this is why I came here.
It's cool to see the city itself.
The beach, to be honest.
The weather is very nice. Great food, great company.
And of course this whole digital district, so I hope it's going to evolve and more people will find out about it.
It's a big adventure and a lot of fun to meet all the startups that have ever participated in Startup Wise Guys programs and see them grow.
I work with large companies and I work with small companies, and I always love the energy that founders always bring to what they're trying to do. And I love being able to get out of Silicon Valley, get out of my bubble to be able to see what the real world is all about.
Startup Wise Guys Getaway is 3.5 months in 3 days. Fun, learning, networking.
Wise Guys!
Wise Guys! Wise Guys!
Startup Wise Guys, baby.